Credit acceptance was tryna finesse me, high interest payments. No, I couldn't let them get me caught in front of the house inside Mercedes Benz GLE, but something wasn't right. I had to do it right. Yeah. Sent the email with the proof, then I filed a suit. Yeah, judge saw the evidence, then they called the truth. Just like that, gone. They settled quick, title on the way, and the debt was wiped away, and I ain't even had to pay. No, push the whip with a drip. You know I got the stick. You know I say the case. You know that they legit. Hey, proceed be the way. If you know how to play, get the win, drop order, then you get on out of the way. 50K right away. Thomas, I did it right. Now these haters gotta say that Thomas did it right. Go real talk about what to do, but Thomas did it right. No guessing about the law, cause Thomas did it right. Interest rates high, but Thomas couldn't stand it. They tried to take advantage, couldn't put him in a panic. Little with the knowledge, running through his pockets, funds charging through the roof. Feel like Houston on a rocket. I landed in the booth, litigation like a pro. Tell me what you say. Guru filing lawsuits, but never wanna pay. Who bad is me? Balance sheet in the courts, casualty, Waylicate up majesty. Y'all ain't even have his mid. Going in for the win. In this game you sink or swim. Undercurrents pull you in. I don't care from the brim. Better take it on the chin, on the chin. Arbitration got his truck, caught him faking, sent his shots. With the cases running laps, round these places they ain't try. Didn't fight, through the bait, didn't even bite. Guru talking like they know, but the law can't even sight. Got a Benz out the deal and then pay the full price. When they talk about Thomas, gotta say he did it right, did it right, did it right. Brothers who didn't fight, got Benz out the deal, never paid the full price. Did it right, did it right. Went to court, went to fight. Over 50K in debt, right away. Thomas did it right.
When you see all the receipts that I drop on a daily basis, all the progress in these court cases, what makes you think anything over here in the Supreme Elite team is misinformation? What makes you think that?
You're rocking with the best.
What makes you think anything over here is misinformation? I mean, we got an ex-SEC attorney, 27 years, decorated career, stamping me. We got an ex-Federal Reserve examiner, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, sits on the IFSAB board, stamping me. CPA, 25 years, stamping me. And that's one of my dear friends. Those are his friends. Access that he has, stamping me. I done dropped videos, clips, showed you results, showed you documents. What more do you need to see? And this is what I mean. Showing receipts in this space is a taboo. Nobody wants to really see a receipt because everybody has a certain belief on how it should go. And there's a certain thrill about chasing it, hoping to get there. So when you see someone that reached the mountaintop and settled with a multi-billion-dollar company, one of the largest auto lenders in the world, one of the world's largest multi-billions, settle with them pro se, that was totally different from what they believe. They hate it.
As always, I had over, Thomas settled the case. Big checks from credit accepting. Thomas settled the case. You see the gavel and he read, yeah. Thomas settled the case. Big checks from credit acceptance. Thomas settled the case. You see the gavel and he read, yeah. Thomas been lit, call him litigator. He been in the court with the litigation. Thomas known in the court like Jordan in the 80s. He did his research, had to plan it like her name is Katie. He put his foot on their neck like a foot fetish. Thomas is not a credit rookie, call him credit veteran. They try to throw a lion on him, but he couldn't catch him. The whole team did a dance, it's the credit stepper. He caught a chapter and a judge and they had to settle. We ain't even been to court, they just had to settle. We ain't even have a fort, they just had a level. On the ground with the gavel, we just had to wrestle. Yeah, Thomas not a rookie, this a vet, call him Top G. He a vet, top gun, he ain't never lost. Thomas know how to finance, he the top dog. Yeah, he been on the block, he is not a block. Thomas settled the case. Big checks from credit acceptance. Thomas settled the case. You see the gavel and he read, yeah. Thomas settled the case. Big checks from credit acceptance. Thomas settled the case. You see the gavel and he read, yeah. Thomas with the knowledge, calling Dr. Seuss.
We are back. We are back.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to litigate like a seasoned professional. Join the Supreme Elite Team University.
Thomas in the lobby, folded thicker than a skyline. Credit acceptance on a resume with stories in the fine lines. My name is Corey.
All right. We are almost an hour before I hold the final and last groundbreaking university.
You're rocking with the best.
We are
You're
hour away.
rocking with the best.
We are hour away. 1 hour away. And after this 90 days, if you don't get it, you just don't get it. Now, a lot of people from TikTok especially hit me up in the Discord. They hit me up in the Discord. I mean, not Discord, on TikTok and inquiring about the Supreme Elite Team University. So they want to join, want to sign me up, TikTok, I don't know if y'all probably not hip to me or not, but this isn't a free event, TikTok. This isn't free at all. Want to know why it's not free? Because any other instructor, teacher, any other ones, they're not doing anything for free. As a matter of fact, this is going to be my last. That's why I have a 3-month course semester. I don't know about semester 2, but semester 1 is a guarantee because I have a lot of other things in life that I have to tend to, and I'm just not. I just don't have the time. I got people I'm training now for the services. I just have to get to other things in my life. I just have to. It's not about I just have to. You're not going to see me on here for the next 5 years, keep teaching and teaching and teaching and teaching and teaching and teaching. I come in, make my mark, make an impact, and get off and go about my life, because there's going to be a point in time where I don't even discuss this stuff anymore. There is. But in the meantime, between time, I left something in the room. Let me go grab that. The thing that you're going to learn with the Supreme Elite Team University is you're going to understand securitization not from the online way, the general chain of title, lack of chain of title. You're going to understand securitization from a corporate professional manner. You're going to understand securitization from the collateral agent side. You're going to understand securitization from the indentured trustee side. And understanding securitization is not just reading SEC filings. That's not the end all be all. It's a good source of evidence, but you're going to understand how to read and interpret them. One of the things that you're going to understand as well is you're going to understand that although I believe this is a valuable claim, although I believe and I know this is taking place, you're going to understand that just because you know something took place doesn't mean you're going to be able to prove it in a court of law under the court rules and the court procedures. It's an absolute fact. So let me explain one thing to a lot of people out here, because I don't think they understand. TikTok, social media, this is not a pissing contest between me and a lot of you content creators and gurus. This is not a pissing contest. I don't care about your FDCPA wins. Just like the guy in, I don't know, I forgot his name. The guy on TikTok last night. I asked you specifically, were you successful in the things that you're trying to pursue now? As a matter of fact, let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Let's just get straight to it. These are the things that consistently I don't think people understand. These are the things. So when this person sends me a message, I'm gonna scroll. Let me scroll down to his message. No, I don't care about your updates. Let me go to the message. And we're going to talk about this message. Now, this guy, I asked him, there we go. Here we go. So, this guy, I asked him, the real unknown icon. The real unknown icon. Let's get it queued up. We got it queued up. Look at this guy right here. This is what I mean. And this is why I'm going to lead people to their own devices, because the Dunning-Kruger effect is 1000% clear here. So this guy wants to, he's talking about a auto company, I assume, and he's trying to sue them and get proceeds from a securitization. He wants to sue them. Like, he literally wants to sue them. And suing them is not a problem. But this is him. Now, these clowns, Republic Finance LLC, wanted to settle twice. But if you offer me the note and all the proceeds generated, I'm going to need that accounting. So he says, if you offer me the notes and all the proceeds generated from the notes, we're going to need that accounting. He said they offered to settle twice. I haven't seen the documents. I don't know. But this is the thing. The securitization plays a serious part in my unjust enrichment claims. Regardless, now, if I have the account audit, I want the whole bag. If I get the CUSA numbers, which I'll be getting soon, they're going to run screaming for me not to expose it. Once again, his mindset is already off. His mindset is already off. The real unknown icon. His mindset is already not on the level of understanding that it takes to get a win with these people. It's already off. You're talking about if I could get the account, if I have the account audit. You will never get the account audit. And you're already supposed to know what the amounts are anyway, based on the industry standards. See, in the Supreme Elite Team University, we actually are going to go over the metrics and how the pools and the funds are allocated and what percentage of this and all the technical details. This is the stuff I already know. This is the stuff that he doesn't know because he's looking for them to get him an audit. You will never get that audit from them. So I started asking myself, why is this guy so confident? He must know something I don't know. And then he says, I want the whole bag. So you can use securitization not as an affirmative defense, but more as a supplemental to unjust enrichment charges. Their trust paperwork shows they already got paid. This is the problem. You still don't understand securitization. You, just like every other so-called guru, you are so focused on who got paid, who didn't get paid. Those are separate private transactions that has nothing to do with you. The debt was already paid argument. These are the same people like Alan Najee on Facebook. They will make these claims. Oh, you already got paid, which means nothing because their agreements with the third parties has no impact on your obligation. Not the way y'all bring it up. And it's the same thing. The Dunning-Kruger effect, where people with limited knowledge, limited expertise start overstating their value and their understanding. And then as soon as they get hit over the head with a frying pan, now it's going to be one big conspiracy because they don't want to expose. What are you exposing? There's nothing to expose. Securitization is regulated. It's not a secret. You are acting like you uncovered some big secret. Securitization has been running in this country and worldwide for at least the last 50 years. You're just catching up. You're just understanding something that is a normal process in everyday financing in everyday life. You're just catching up with it. You're just catching up with it. Something that's normal, everyday financing, you're just catching up. You're not exposing nothing. There's nothing you're exposing here. And then I say, you're going to lose. You're going to lose because you're chasing the money. Adding the money means an admission of guilt. See, this is how I know that people have never been in high-end stakes settlements, such as high-end motor vehicles and mortgages. This is how I know they've never been in that situation. This is how I know they've never been in that situation. This is how I know. Hey, somebody from the Supreme Elite Team group, please send a message in the Supreme Elite Team group and tell them I'm not on Discord yet. I'm not there yet. So I don't know why they're going there. I'm not there yet. Somebody from the Supreme Elite Team, please send a message in the group. I'm not there. I'm not in there. I don't know why y'all going in there. Then it says, I tell people all the time to not chase the money. When you do that, it never works out good. The mindset needs to shift. It's not about coming up, but getting the assets free and clear, no liens. Hope that helps. And you can tell from the beginning, he didn't like what I said. Because many people do these things for the sole purpose of coming up. They're looking for a come up, a financial come up. See, me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have those financial problems in real life. I swear to God, I don't have those financial problems in real life. So I don't know. Maybe my mindset is different from most. Everybody, it's just a quick come up, and I don't have those financial problems in real life. So maybe he's looking at it different, the real unknown icon. And then he said they filed the UCC1 finance statement in an incorrect name that violates the state laws of Alabama. Therefore, their security interest was killed, potentially contaminating the trust pool. Once again, that is not your determination to make. Yo, I feel like some people, it's just not meant for them to understand. I truly believe that this is not for everybody. Everybody thinks that this is something to go attack because it's something to have. I truly believe that many people believe they understand what's really going on when they have no experience in the same things they think they understand. But they don't want to listen to nothing. Don't want to listen to wise counsel. That is an opinion. They call that a legal conclusion. There is nothing that you can point to that substantiates that. And this is the problem when you blur the lines between opinions and facts, which can be supported in law and has any basis in law and fact. When you start to assert your opinions as you are 100% correct, these are the troubles you run into. So we continue. So he sent me, he sent me some posts. So he said, when I called the small claims court and asked, why was it not with prejudice? She stated that if I had a problem, I could always file another motion. And because we're going to find out where did the payments go, whatever that means. So the case wasn't dismissed with prejudice. It was dismissed without prejudice. No one wants securitization exposed because it crashes the complete case for unjust enrichments on the corporation's behalf. Once again, you were acting like securitization is some big secret. Listen, these people got 50 years ahead of us. These people got 50 years ahead of us. Y'all don't understand nothing. You think, hold on. You think you doing something because you got a vague understanding of securitization? A practice that's related? But you think that they're going to be like, ooh, securitization, let me run. Do you think they care that you know about securitization? You're not a party to the agreement. Who's getting paid on the back end has nothing to do with your obligation. And this is the problem. We always talk about this expose. I'm going to collapse the system. It's the same system that he depends on. The real unknown icon. You're trying to collapse the same system that you depend on. You haven't shown me any evidence that you own any assets outright. You haven't shown me any evidence that you own any assets outright. So they take securitization away. How you going to get financing? You going to buy everything outright? You know people got problem paying the bill as a... They're going to pay for it outright. You're going to pay for everything outright. That's what you're going to do? You're going to crash? You're going to crash the system now? Let's crash the system so now we can just pay for everything outright. As soon as they take securitization away, you'll be finding something new to complain about. There'll be something new to complain about. There'll be something new to complain about when they start making everybody pay for things out of pocket. So I told him, you're preaching to the choir. Take it from someone who won his vehicle outright. See, I'm not doing anything but giving a wise counsel. And I said, take it for someone who won the vehicle outright.
You're rocking with the best.
Not my opinion. Take it from someone who's actually been there, done that. That's what I said. What a lot of people trying to accomplish, I've already been there, done that. And that's the difference. You're so used to hearing people just speak with no evidence that they ever been successful in what they talking about. Me, when I'm telling you about the auto, I'm not telling you for my opinion. I'm telling you because I've already been there, done that. So then I say it's never about exposing anything. This is where yours and my mindset are different. I have years of experience in this, year 14, but I exercise wisdom and discernment above all. Securitization is not anything a consumer can benefit from financially in civil or arbitration. He's looking for a payout and something that a consumer will never get. In a civil suit, you will never get a payout. It never works like that. It never works like that. You're not going to get a payout just because what's going on behind the scenes. They're not going to pay you. And I know he doesn't have a full understanding because he doesn't know how real settlements work. But we're going to get into his settlement, and which he calls a win. See, when I talk settlements, I'm talking about settlements on the merits of the case, not a settlement because you violated a Fair Debt Collection Practice Act statute and you got awarded whatever. It's a cap with the statute, what, $1,500, $2,500, and then they waive the debt. They agree not to pursue. That's your settlement. That's your settlement. My settlements happen on the merits, meaning I'm the plaintiff. I filed the lawsuit. I said it went this way. I can prove it this way. And instead of them fighting it, they settle. See, that's a settlement on the merits, not settlement because they violated your FDCPA Act, meaning they violated the Debt Collection Act when trying to collect the debt from you, which further evidences that you're the defendant and they're trying to collect something from you which you didn't pay, meaning you're the defendant. I'm the plaintiff. I don't wait to get behind before I pull the trigger. I filed the lawsuit while I was current. There's a difference, brother. It's a big difference. Pause. And also, if one understands securitization, there's never a question of where the money went. It should already be known. I mean, everybody understands securitization. Everybody understands securitization, but always want to ask them where the money at. Always want to ask them about the chain of title. Always want to ask them who did this get assigned to. You're supposed to know all those things. All the professionals do. You want to put yourself on a professional level when you talk securitization. You should already know, but you don't know. And you're lying, acting like you know, but you don't know. You're lying, acting like you know, but you don't know. It went to the people who helped you. And literally I hit them with where the money went should have already been known. It went to the people who helped you get finance. Bam. And that argument right there, didn't it?
You're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the best.
Where'd the money go? It went to the people that helped you get finance. Now that's where it went. Now, you won't smell a dollar and may jeopardize your whole case by continuing to pursue it, chasing the money. Keep me posted, win or lose. A lot of people contact me during their case telling me how they about to win, then never follow up. When I check in, they never respond again. Win, lose, or draw. I hope you let me know. Right? So then he said, just so we clear, I agree chasing the money can derail your whole case. However, I also insist that the accounting, not the insists that the accounting, not the securitization accounting. That lets me know he doesn't understand nothing of which he thinks he believes. The accounting, not, and hey, y'all, this is why night one is the groundbreaking Supreme Elite Team University, because we actually get on the accounting in which they actually use. And the accounting is not the accounting which he thinks. He has no clue. His head would spin if he was to pay highway and join the Supreme Elite Team. You tie in advanced accounting level, like you're in a corporate setting, your head would spin. I know a lot of people are going to stay away because they know it's too highly complex for them. They want the quick. He said the true accounting of your records and accounting from that company, if it's not accurate in the state of Alabama, no reward will be given. That's Alabama law. Now, I will ever argue your securitization as affirmative defects. No, because securitization is a secondary contract separate from the original. That I agree. However, there have been cases where audits were used under affidavits and companies had to release funds that were not disclosed to the principal. Once again, he said there's been cases. I don't care if you sent me the Dead Sea Scrolls. If you're going to say that, show the case law to support it. Otherwise, it's hearsay. Inadmissible under the rules of evidence. It's hearsay. Don't say there's been cases. Show the case. I don't believe what nobody says by just talking. And I say, are those cases binding in your situation? Do you know the procedural posture of your case? There are many nuances that are involved that I know you don't see yet. With many years of experience, these things will be evident. Good luck. Well, I take an approach that most people, you see, I look at things whether they are in a taxable event or in a non-taxable event, and then I just inform you Internal Revenue Service, and I take a different route about things. Bro, that route you take is the old sovereign citizen patriot way. Y'all, I think I know their belief systems more than them. They think that they're saying something so new and profound and so groundbreaking that, oh, it gives me a cause for pause. They think that route is something so new. Why is it that for everybody to be so much of a teacher and so knowledgeable, why does it seem like everybody just piggybacking off everybody else? But I'm gonna use I statements. You take my complaint, my lawsuit against credit acceptance from a pro se litigation standpoint. No pro se consumer has ever filed the lawsuit the way I did against credit acceptance. Although it's framed as a consumer lawsuit, I filed it like it was a class action lawsuit. Now, you know, when you get to class action lawsuits, it gets way technical. That's how I framed it. But by the mere, my pleadings themselves put me in a position where it was like a 5% chance I would win that case based on the thresholds I had to meet with the courts. So I said, have you been successful in what you're doing now? The reason is that taxes are different from consumer obligations. I said successful in what you're doing now. Okay. So he proceeds to show me, oh, where did it go? Oh, I think it must have been removed. So basically what he showed me was a settlement. He showed me a settlement from an FDCPA claim from a debt collector, meaning he didn't pay his bills and then they came to sue him. And in the course of attempting to collect the debt, they violated the FDCPA. Courts are real strict against corporations when they violate the statutes and attempted to collect the debt. So he sued them and got an award for violating the FDCPA. And as part of the agreement, they waived the balance. They waived the balance. So you won because they violated the FDCPA in the course of them collecting a debt against you. You didn't win off the merits of your case. That is the difference between me and you, little buddy. That's the difference. I say, show me where you've been successful in what you're doing. A FDCPA case is not evidence that you were successful on the merits. There was no stipulation of agreements based on the merits. I didn't have to go to arbitration. Why did I bypass the arbitration clause while everybody else with credit acceptance and these other companies, they seem to always get compelled to arbitration? How did I spank the arbitrations clause? They didn't even attempt to do anything. When I mean, can you show me where you've been successful? You talk about an auto. I'm talking about you filed the complaint. You filed the complaint as the plaintiff, not the defendant. Because with the defendant, the case can be dismissed without prejudice, meaning they can bring the claim back up again, which they always do. I'm talking about you not sitting like a sitting duck waiting for them to sue you. I'm talking about you take the initiative to sue them. I'm not even going to add in the clause of being current because 98% of these people in these spaces, they ain't never current when they get into these situations. So just you take the initiative on suing them. And then they make an appearance and then they settle. Based on your motions and your pleadings, they decide not to go to court. And they settle. And they clear the account. And they send the title to you. And this wasn't an FDCPA claim. I'm talking about that. And this is the problem with y'all. It's levels to this stuff. I know y'all keep wanting to show me your little arbitration stuff and your little credit card stuff. But I won. No, you didn't. You didn't really win. You want to know why? Because the things that you really wanted to win on, you haven't won yet. I'm talking about big boy wins. Autos, mortgages, high-end credit card balances. Not that $1,250 that you owe. Because that's what you owe, brother. Yo, you owe $1,250, bro, and they waived that. Well, congratulations. You want to call that a win? We'll give you that. Congratulations. You won that. But the question was posed, where is your win solely off your merits? Because if they're trying to collect the debt against you, and they violate, like do a bunch of robocalls, do a bunch of violations and stuff, you can actually sue them under the FDCPA and get awarded damages just for the violations. The courts are not even looking into the merits. It's just the violations. I got case law and I got the whole docket sheet in the motions where credit acceptance had to pay a fine to the consumer, but it did nothing with the underlying balance. So, bro, they waived the balance based on their violations of you. I'm talking about you taking them to the box based solely off your own merits without the FDCPA involved. And this is the problem. You got that one settlement with the FDCPA, and now you've been chasing money ever since. And this is the problem when you chase money over the assets themselves. You put yourself in a position where you're going to trick yourself off. Y'all, I don't care about y'all chasing the money. You can chase the money all day. Obviously, you need it. If you can't even cover a $1,200 bill, I get it. You probably need the money. You probably didn't have it to pay. But the thing about it is, what is the end goal for you doing all this stuff? My end goal is I'm going to use my knowledge. I'm going to use my understanding. I'm going to use my teaching. I'm going to use my wisdom. I'm going to use my discernment. And I'm going to attain assets, clear free title to assets, one situation at a time. Free and clear. This we talk generational wealth, American pie. This part of the American dream. Owning, they ain't got to worry about come taking it. owning it. See, the difference between me and you, brother, you the type that's going to put titles and properties into trust that already has a lien on it. When this title goes into my trust, it's not going to have a lien on it because I own it outright. So that's the difference. See, my teachings leads to you owning things outright. Now, no FDCPA claim that you've been trying to duplicate another win since. You know that win ain't satisfying. You back in another case because the mindset, you think just because of that FDCPA that you can stop paying your bills, and you think that FDCPA situation is going to duplicate itself time and time and time and time again. But you notice that you're not in an FDCPA case again, and you know that your case got dismissed. See, you ain't in an FDCPA case, but if they didn't violate your rights when collecting the debt, huh? What happens when they come to repossess? What happens when they sue you in court and the FDCPA is out the door? What happens when you're in a non-judicial state in a foreclosure? What happens when you're being sued in regular foreclosure? And you have to come in as the defendant and defend it. How do you take that situation and still convert that until you get entitled to the property outright? Do you know the nuances and the intricacies and the complexities that are involved just in that scenario alone? I think not. And this is why many people that they just stop trying to compete with me. And I'm gonna say this. Many people, especially on TikTok, you gurus, you're teaching, you're doing your thing, cool. You don't need to compete with me. It's not a pissing contest. And I'm what you're I don't know if y'all think I'm green in that, but you're not going to try to manufacture a debate just so I can give you some free information, because I know that's what you're really looking for. Do you know how many TikTok gurus be in my inbox thanking me so much? Being real honest with me. Behind the scenes, they're being honest with me on where they really at. Acknowledging like, yeah, bro, you know where. And these people that are teaching other people. I'm not going to expose those because that wouldn't be right. I'm not going to expose those. But the situation boils down to is that when you start to chase the money out of this, TikTok, the new culture empire on YouTube, the new culture empire on YouTube, just same as it on TikTok, the new culture empire. Come on this side, y'all. When you start to chase the money instead of chasing the asset free and clear, when you start to chase the money, you're going to run into trouble, because when you have the opportunity to get a settlement, one of the things that you're going to realize when you get to that situation is that there's never going to be any admission of guilt. It's never going to be any admission of guilt. It's never going to be an admission of guilt. So if they have to cash you out, that is an admission of guilt. So when you have the chance to settle title free and clear, you don't owe anymore on the account, zero balance. What is so wrong with taking that? Why do we still have to be greedy and get more? And the ones who are greedy trying to get more always ends up with nothing. And this is why he's still in a battle right now while I'm sitting back with my Mercedes-Benz free and clear, no debts, no liens, because I know when to shoot, when to step back, when to throw a jab, when to play defense, when to settle, when to fight. And it has nothing to do with exposing a system. The last thing that you ever want to aim to do is expose the system. I'm not bigger than the system. You're not bigger than the system. Nobody's bigger than the system. You will never defeat the system. Don't let them gas your head up. That's why the Supreme Elite Team University, which we will be starting at 7:30, is going to be so important. Understanding behind it, the wording. Templates are only as good as the person who is submitting it understands it. What if you get questioned on it? What if you have to defend it? If you don't know how to defend the template, I don't care if Jesus Christ himself anointed it. If you don't know how to defend it, it's not going to get you the intended results. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, let me address something right quick, because obviously it seems like Kenyatta Stone keeps lying. Let me address something right quick. So this was, well, I was just cleared. I was just seeing this. Now this takes a turn, because I don't know what Tempest Marie, but it says this. I thought it was her. I don't know what Tempest Marie. I don't know what Tempest Marie at all. It says, but this is a weird one right here. Look, listen. I posted a. Actually, you know what? I know y'all want to see what's going on. I know y'all nosy. I know y'all nosy. Let's I'm gonna put it on the screen for y'all. I know y'all want to see what's going on. Let me put it on the screen for y'all. Cause because I'm looking at, listen, y'all, I'm looking at the language and I'm like, oh man, she back at it again. But I don't know who this person is. I don't know who this person is. I do not know who this person is, but nevertheless, let's get to it. Let's see what's. I don't know who this person is, and it's very funny because the verbiage is very. So it says. So it says this. I post, y'all. I don't know who this person is. Tempest Marie. That it wasn't me. I posted a client win and immediately got a DM from a man who said he's a professional litigator. Well, I'm the one that says that. Who is Tempest Marie? And proceeded to write me a 3-page dissertation explaining why my case results are legally sloppy. But that's what I did with Kenyatta Stone. He also made sure to let me know he's connected to an ex-SEC attorney. I am. He knows someone at Fannie Mae. I do. And he has Federal Reserve ties. Factual. And he knows what 2% knows. True statement. As if I asked. That's what I learned. But I don't, y'all, I don't know who is this a new, is this, can I get a better look at the picture? Because I don't know who this person is. I never went into no Tempest. I never did that. I don't know who this person is. Did she change her names on? I don't know. But when you start leveling up publicly, you don't just attract clients. You attract people who are triggered by your confidence and need to audit you to feel important. But I don't know who you are. This is stuff that I'd say, but it looks so like manufactured, made up. I've never talked to her. I never sent her anything. All those things about me is true. It's like you're talking about me, but I don't know who you are. When you start learning, you just don't attract you trigger confidence. But let me be clear. I don't need permission to teach what I've lived. And I don't need validation from strangers in my inbox. I've never been in your inbox. I've never been in your inbox. I don't know who you are. So you must have been watching me, Tempest Marie. You must have been watching me because I don't even know who you are. If this was Kiana Stone, 1000%, I would be like, yes. But I don't even know who you are. If you're in this community, please understand, people always have something to say when you're winning. I don't even know if you're winning. I don't even know who you are, Tempest Marie. I have no clue as to who you are. I have no clue as to who you are. Especially when you're a woman doing it out loud. The sexism, I wouldn't give a damn if you was an avatar. See, there we go. Always, what does your gender? I am an equal opportunity scalper. I don't care if you a man, a woman. I've been at men's neck in these spaces for years. Don't, but I don't even know if you're talking about me. I'm taking it as you talking about me. But the thing about you talking about me, because I feel like you're talking about me, but I was never in your inbox. I don't know who you are. See, this is the thing about what I've seen, especially with a lot of females in these spaces, especially on Facebook. They will manufacture posts. Like they will lie about something that happened that never happened. And 2%, ex-SEC attorney, someone that Fannie Mae. I just recently was letting people know about that. So how would you know that? And then so after I posted a client's win, congratulations. But one of the things that I've noticed in these spaces, even y'all clients and y'all wins, it has to be scrutinized because there's always been some funny business with it. But I can see if this was Kiana Stone, this is what I thought she was talking about, because I sent her a message about her own case, about how she lost her own case. And that the very next day she went live, and I tried to join her live, but there was connection issues, meaning I was unable to join. She kept telling me to join, but what I really believe was happening, she was denying the request while live saying, join, join, join. But my request was denied. That's what I really believe what happened. But, and the funny part is the loudest critics are always the ones doing the least. The loudest critics are always the ones doing it the least. Miss Tempest Marie, you may not be hip to the new culture empire, but I am loud and I'm right. People always have something to say when you're winning, especially, always. I'm still posting, and BGD is still a blessing. Receipts attached because this DM was too wild not to share. Old me would have deleted my post and got quiet. New me posts louder. See, I don't know who this person is. So this is the next chat. Oh, I know who this is. Oh my gosh, girl, why are you faking? I know who this is. Okay, I'm about to send y'all the next screen. But why is this Facebook? Oh, let me send it. This is, yo, I said, oh, I know exactly who this was. Y'all, this, I know who she is now. I'm about to send this to y'all. She sent, listen, y'all. Watch this shit right here. Watch this right here. I told y'all, watch this right here. Look, watch this right here. Watch this. Watch this. Watch it. Let me cue it up. Uh-oh, hold on. Hold on. Watch this right here. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Let me send it again. Watch this right here. Watch this right here. Watch this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Watch this. You about to blow your head's about to be blown away. Watch this. Watch this. Okay, here we go. Watch this. Everybody read this. Watch this. No accusations. Because I remember what I typed. Just verifications. Like I said, I'm a litigator and I see gurus all the time, and their wins always says email saying it was won. The judge signed the order and it was entered. Wouldn't the scan order from the clerk include the cause number and appear on the docket sheet? It's because she said she had a win. Oh my gosh, I remember the post now. She said she had a win and it was signed, but it wasn't signed like the way a judge would do it. It looked like it was manufactured. And I was in her live in TikTok earlier in that night. Since court orders are public records, I'm trying. Watch this. Let's go back to TikTok. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch. Hold on. Watch this. Watch this. Let's see if she didn't. Oh, come on. Watch this. Come on. Oh, come on now. Go down. Watch this. You got to see this. You got to see this. I got to figure out which one she is. You got to see this. Here we go. Right here. Right here. Look. 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 Hold on. Watch this. Watch this. I got it. Look at this. Y'all see that? Hold on. Let me remove it. Y'all got to catch that. Y'all read that? Y'all read that? Y'all see that? Watch this. I didn't send you that message on Facebook. I sent you the message here. Bam. And we was talking. Tempest. Want to know why? Y'all can't see? I don't know why you can't see. We about to go here now. Hold on. Let me take all this other shit down. Let me remove this stuff. Watch this. Why would you feel some type of way? Watch this. Watch. Unless I was true what I said that you fabricated that win. Look. Look at this. This is where I put it. Right here. Look. I said the order. Look, this was the problem I had with the bank. Look. This here. I'm reaching out because I'm a professional. Look. This is the conversation me and her had. Why would you run to Facebook about it, Tempest? Me and you was talking in the chat. Why would you run to Facebook like some man said, like you ain't know who I was? When I found something suspicious about that one order that the judge signed off on. Why would you go to Facebook to make a post? Look, y'all, I did this and look, especially when everybody wanted the loudest. Was that projection? That deep down inside where you were kind of bothered that I pointed out what a lot of people didn't see? Is that what it was? That deep down inside, you know I was right that the order wasn't real. And I didn't even post it live. I talked to you in the back chat. Why you go to Facebook with it? And you never responded to that post. But when I talked about another situation, look, you respond. See, you didn't respond here. Look. Her responding. You know who I am. Why you running Facebook like I just jumped in your DM random? And I was in your live 20 minutes ago. That's how she likes. She know what she talking about. Check her out. And I seen that one order. Y'all see what I'm saying? I always have receipts. I'm too 100 for these people. Come on, man.
You're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the best.
Let's read what I really said. I read what I really said. Look, it was from that. Look, and that was the one. Look, I was reaching out because I'm a professional litigator. Just settled my credit accepted. The final order posted on my page, other emails. I saw the $12,000 case, and I just need clarity right there. So she knows which one I'm talking about. She knows what I'm talking about now. Tempest, listen, Tempest, I don't want to go there with you. I seen quite a few shaky wins. I know you a single mom and you got your daughter and this and make some money too and all this, but I seen a few shaky information you was putting out in some shaky wins. I seen the one with your client. They withdrew the default, the judgment, the summary judgment. They withdrew it. They didn't actually settle that case with your Spanish client. They just withdrew it. See, I got the case filings to the stuff. See, what you didn't expect me to do was find the case filings because you redact all this stuff. But I can still find the case filings even with the case numbers and stuff redacted. You wasn't expecting me to actually find the real case. That is the big problem. That's why you redact the cases, case file, the names. You wasn't expecting me to find the real case. I am the Grim Reaper to these social media gurus. Now, I just saw the $12,000 case, and I need some clarity. I'm connected to ecstasy attorney. I have connects who works at Fannie Mae, ex-Federal Reserve. I have 14 years of court experience, criminal and civil. Settle mortgage, credit cards, student loans, auto, debt buy cases. And I have all black and white seats to back up everything I'm saying. With the order, a few things caught my eye. So I gave her a background of who I am. So I'm not just coming there to BS. I'm not trolling. I'm not being offensive. But watch this. Look at her post and how I'm coming at her. This is the girl from Facebook. I had the name. I said, yo, this is familiar. Tempest, hold on. I was talking to you on TikTok. Why you running Facebook? Why don't you go post that on TikTok? But they be having different identities, whatever platform they on. Shit. She ran to Facebook. Look, y'all. Before I finish, she couldn't address it on TikTok. She had to go to another platform where she would think that I wasn't around. See, she ran over to Facebook. She couldn't do it on TikTok because I'm around there. So she ran to Facebook to address me. Why you got to go to another platform to address me? We talking in the inbox. You could have just addressed it right there. Because you know none of y'all gurus can pull anything over me. Y'all can't pull none of that on me. Watch this. With the order, a few things caught my eye. For one, Texas justice courts generally do not issue with prejudice dismissals on subject matter jurisdiction because, prime example, let's say you're in a tenant case and you filing as a landlord to evict the tenant, but you didn't serve them correctly. And the judge says, hey, you didn't serve them correctly. I have to dismiss this case because I don't have subject matter jurisdiction. You'll still be able to file later on once you correct it. So they always dismiss subject matter jurisdiction cases without prejudice, not with prejudice. That's what caught my eye. Because when you dismiss a claim with lack of subject matter jurisdiction, there's a defect in the complaint or their service was improper, you always have a chance to get it right. So they never dismiss them with prejudice. You only get a dismiss with prejudice when you reach a settlement, a joint settlement like me, or the case was thrown out with prejudice because your constitutional rights were violated in the process. See, you talking court. You talking court now. Texas courts do not issue with prejudice dismissals on subject matter jurisdiction. Lack of authority to adjudicate complex federal standing issues involving national banks. 2, if a court lacks subject matter jurisdiction, the dismissal is typically without prejudice by law. Also, the order says dismissal for lack of subject matter jurisdiction and lack of standing. What court words things like that? Never. Come on, Shorty. You walked yourself into that one.
You're rocking with the best.
They don't say for lack of standing, they don't issue orders like that. And now I understand. Now I interface sit. It didn't sit well with her. She didn't like that. He's like, it got under her skin. It's like someone called, like, bro, you know, I saw you do that shit. Like, hey, yo, you know, some people gonna come outside and say I did something, you know, I did. That's projection. She's projecting now because she know that my assertions was true, that I believe she issued a fake order. In Texas, standing is a component of subject matter jurisdiction, not a separate add-on element. So you don't say lack of subject matter jurisdiction and lack of standing. They don't, courts don't even word things like that. Watch this. Courts don't usually stack them like that unless a lawyer did it poorly. And since I'm pro se, they would have changed the language in the order because the language doesn't sit well with Texas precedent. Lastly, the signature does not resemble typical JP signatures. It appears digitally overlaid and no accompanying clerk attestation, no visible case number, validation stamp. Texas Justice Courts do not usually emboss or digitally paste seals like district courts. So y'all seen mine, right? Y'all seen my order, right? Y'all seen my order. Y'all stands with the and the docket number. Y'all seen my order, like some shit like this. See, you seen this order. So order stipulation of dismissal filed by Credit Acceptance Corporation. District Judge Leona Brinkman, January 28th. So you see that real order, it's on the record. See, my order's on the record. And I looked it up in her order record where she said she won. The order wasn't on the record. Now I understand why she went to Facebook. I understand why now, y'all. I understand why she went to Facebook now. She went to Facebook because that got under her skin. Now let's watch this. Seals alone. So a seal image without docket confirmation, the docket in order for the case to be final. Order of dismissal, look up the top 25th, 2025, case terminated when? January. What? The order stipulation of dismissal was. Hey, y'all. and I didn't go make a video about her. This is all behind the scenes. So for her to say that publicly is like, why'd you do that? If it was a win, why? Why? You know what it was? She thought that I was going to try to expose her, in which I left it alone. So she had to go get ahead of it. See, it's playing in her mind. See, when you know someone says something that's true, you got to go try to get out ahead of it and create a narrative. With me, I left it alone. So she kind of told on herself with this post on Facebook. She kind of told on herself because I just brought it to you behind the scenes. It looks shaky. I didn't make no public. Why would you go public about it? Unless what I was saying was true. It. Also missing on the proposed order, no hearing transcript, no motion ruling reference, no docket screenshots like reference to it, and no case history shown. A proposed order, if signed, is not a win unless it's entered into the record. In Texas, are not effective until entered by the clerk. Part unsigned or improperly signed drafts. My personal take is if this were real, you would have shown the docket, at least the case summary, the judgment entry, or the appeal deadline notice. I've seen orders come out of this district and it never looks like this. If this was a real win, do you have a screenshot of the docket entry or case summary showing the order was entered on the record? Court wins are a matter of public record, so I'm just trying to understand why the case number, docket sheet, or clerk entry isn't shown. I'm looking to work with other elite players in this space, but I always verify outcomes on the record. Is this a finalized enter order, or should I look up the case myself to confirm? Appreciate the clarity either way. That's it. No insults, no accusations, just verification. Like I said, I'm a litigator and I see gurus all the time, and their wins are always emails saying they won. The judge signed the order and it was entered. Wouldn't the scanned order from the clerk include the case number and appear on the docket sheet? Since the court orders are public records, I'm trying to understand why the names and case numbers are blacked out. Is there any reason the docket entry or case summary isn't showing? I'm looking to collaborate who document wins on the record, so you can confirm whether this order was actually entered, or point me to a docket so I can confirm. And look, this is the only thing she respond. When I redact my customers' info case numbers for posting purpose, I redact in black and white, not to make sure it's not flagged by TikTok. That was her only response to that whole thing. She never said, man, nah, you wrong. Oh, you wrong. Nah, it's right. Look at this right here. Nah, it's legit. That's all she said. That's all she said. That's all she said. I didn't go on Facebook. I didn't try to drag her. I didn't do none of that. So the question that I have is, how does this actual conversation that we have get moved over here to Facebook? Because y'all see, this is the conversation I had. As a matter of fact, what's more funny is how is my words, so you copied my words from the TikTok post that I sent you behind the scenes, which is all right here. And look what she did. She goes and copies them into a Facebook business chat, like I sent that to her business chat when I sent it on Facebook. So you're sending messages to yourself? Look, all this right here. Y'all see that? That's one Facebook business chat. I never sent her a business chat. That says today at 12:07 a.m. whenever it happened. Girl, I sent this to you January 31st. Look, this everything I'm saying right here. Why is it here. Everything I'm saying right here, why is it here? When I reached out to you on TikTok, why is it in the Facebook Messenger? Because I could see if you would have posted that, because it shows you lawsuit response, TikTok. This is a Facebook. Or is that TikTok? I think that's TikTok. That's TikTok, ain't it? That's TikTok, ain't it? That look like TikTok, I think. Yeah. But if you look at it, yeah. So I think this is from TikTok still. Yeah, this TikTok still. Yeah, this one right here is from TikTok. This one TikTok still. And she blocked out me, the new coach of Empire. But why would you do that when you already responded to me? You just didn't address my concerns, but you responded down here. And this was the last thing. And guess what I said? Just need one name and I can find any case redacted or not. I use my lawyer's friends' login credentials. They have the top-notch research central. The key is to always settle out of court, but when dealing with people who are already being sued, that could be an issue. So she responded. When I redact my customers' info, case numbers, etc., for posting purposes on documents, I redact in black and white, not to make sure it's not flagged by TikTok. Cool. But why would you go make a public post like I just came in your DM and started just degrading you and talking down on you when it was just a simple conversation and you responded back? You didn't address none of that, but nevertheless, you responded back. Why did you make it seem like it was just so random? Tempest, clip that. And looks like you got a different name now over here. You got a different name. You got a different name. You a law response. So Tempest, why did you make this post like I was just coming in your DM trying to degrade you when I was having a conversation? I was having a typical conversation with you in which you responded. Why would you make a post like I was just coming to troll you in the chat? You said you posted a client's win. You posted an order. I let you know behind the scenes how that order looks shaky. And orders of dismissals is not worded like that in court, in Texas court. They're not worded like that. And you didn't address that at all. You just went to redacting customers' info for this. And then when I let you know, I can still find the information, whether it's redacted or not. That was the last conversation. I didn't drag you. I actually intelligent people. I just needed clarity on this. So what's professional about this? I didn't go put your business out in the streets. But you had to, there was a reason why you had to post this. Something was eating you up that you had to post this. Maybe it's because what I'm saying is true. And you thought that I operate like I was just going to start blasting you. Maybe you had to get out in front of it. Crazy work. Crazy work. Now, Tempest lawsuit. Now let's get here. And that was the last conversation we had. I didn't talk crazy to. I didn't do none of that. Now let's see. Let's see. I think it was. I think it was this. Hold on. Let me find a. Let me find a. Let me find it because it was a. It was a. Let me see if I can find the actual. It was like a $12,000 debt. She's saying she won, and now, as let's see, it was a $12,000 debt, and it posted like how I won a $12,000 debt. Gurus, y'all, please stop doing the email verifications. It just looks suspect. Now I didn't have to go down this far last time. I didn't have to go down this far last time. It was literally a $12,000. How I wanted 12. What's his name, like Chris or something? $12,000. I didn't have to go down this far last time. She took it down. She took. She. She took. Hold on. Hold on. She took the video down. She took the video down. She took the video down. I was looking for the video. I don't see the video now. And I remember going down this. Let me make sure I got it right. Prepared. Because I was looking for the video. She took the video down. She took the video down. Because it was right around in it was like right in here. Bank sued me for over, flipped it and got paid. Okay. And yeah, I don't. It was like right in here. Like right up in here. Yep. And this the case right here. I got this case too. This case you talking about here.
Joe won against the debt collector who was trying.
It wasn't a win. They just withdrew the motion for summary judgment that they filed. They just withdrew it. That was it. It was withdrawn. I haven't seen no activity on it since then. It was just withdrawn. It wasn't a final dismissal on the case. And I think that's another reason why she got quiet when I looked up this case right here. I actually had this case. I think that's when she stopped responding and I like, oh shit, this motherfucker can look up cases. But forget that case. That Joe case she's talking about, that was right, like the $12,000 video.
You guys just gotta. You guys have to stop panicking. No, let me first. Panic first,
Yeah,
okay?
that's it wasn't, it was right in here. It was like, no more mistake. How you gonna? It was like right, like a $12,000 debt, and it was right. It was right in this area, right all up in here, and it said how 12,000. She had it on the title. How $12,000, like the $12,000 video was actually like stuff like this, how this client beat it with discovery. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, these emails and these text message wins, I'm just not a fan of them. But it was right in here, y'all. Oh, here you go. This is right here.
How?
Oh,
This is going to be. This is how.
hold on.
I'm going to just be honest with you. Let me show you why. Here's what you file when
I
you
just
get.
had it. I just had it. I just had it. I know where is it at. I just had it. It's right here. Here we go.
How did Chris beat a $12,000 American Express credit card lawsuit for under $500? Let me break it down. Chris was being sued for this is dismissed.
Right there. That was the that is what that right there. Right here. Right there. And when there's orders, they don't do it like that. That judges, it just doesn't, they don't do it like that. Dismissed for lack of jurisdiction and standing. And look, there's nothing. Look at that. That was the one that's the subject one. And I just asked for clarity. I didn't assume, I didn't act like nothing. I just asked for clarity because orders, it you know what I'm saying? Like it just I don't know. I don't know. But if that's not the original copy, so since she's not showing the original copy, so since she's not showing the original copy, because the original copy is not going to have the scan stuff on there. The original copy is not going to have the scan stuff on there. So when you show the original copy, CA6, when you're not showing the original copy, it does look something like this. When you get a settlement or dismiss, when you are not showing the original copy, it does look like this. The clerk, wrote that, judge wrote that, but you see that page number, those blue filers, like it's scanned. See how it's scanned in the system? When you look here, you see? And then when she gets that copy, it's going to have the case filing in the Justice Court 3rd Precinct. So let's hear what she says while I do some research.
Credit card lawsuit for under $500. Let me break it down. Chris was being sued for $12,000 American Express credit card, but now the case is dismissed. The judge threw it out, and it was dismissed with prejudice. No payment plan, no settlement, no judgment, just dismissed. And it was dismissed.
1 second.
The case is dismissed.
What is that in the Justice Court Precinct 3? All right, y'all.
The judge threw it out, and it was dismissed with prejudice. No payment plan, no settlement, no judgment, just dismissed with prejudice. I drafted this motion that shut it all down. I reviewed the lawsuit. I crafted the argument for him with the strategy, and I built the motion from scratch. I challenged just the jurisdictional flaws. I challenged the lack of standing and the contract inconsistencies. It was airtight, you guys. And he had also a fair judge. Our console session, he was able to file the motion. He argued the case, and the case was dismissed with prejudice. He fought back. Chris spent $100 total to help him secure a win.
And this is the part right here, right? Look at this, right? So look at this here. So I think this was Justice Precinct 3. Where's that, in Texas, y'all? Now, let me see if I can find a order of dismissal out of the Justice Court orders of dismissal. Yeah, so let's see if we can. They don't have it, but the reality of the situation is, I can't find it. But when I asked her the questions, she took it as an attack. And one of the things about it is it just looks shaky because they don't, when you draft orders, propose orders, like that wording, lack of jurisdiction and standing, they don't use that verbiage. They don't use that verbiage. And it has to be on the record. And I didn't find anything on the record of the dismissal. I didn't find anything on the record. I didn't find anything on the record. And so let's go here. Let's go here. And if you look at her, the language and the wordings, it looks sus. It just man, like an order this is a formal, usually one-page signed by the judge. Typically includes a court name, case number, parties involved, a check reason for dismissal, settlement, non-suit, warrant of prosecution. So when we go to her reason, when we go here,
just no payment plan, no settlement, no. The case is dismissed.
Right there. On this day, court considered motion dismissed for lack of jurisdiction and standing. After reviewing the motion and pleadings and filed and any agreements presented, the court finds the motion is meritorious and should be. They don't word. They oh, man. A dismissal is for the reasons settlement, non-suit, warrant of prosecution, end of day, key elements in the Justice Court, Precinct, County of Texas. Now let's go here. That's the key words at the top. In the Justice Court, Precinct, blank, County of Texas, on this day, let's go back here. Request to drop the case, parties reach agreement, dismissal for warrant of prosecution, dismiss with or without prejudice. Okay, so let's ask this question. In a motion, in a granted motion out of this district, when it granted motion to dismiss out of this district for lack of subject matter jurisdiction and standing, is it typically with or without prejudice? And the Texas Justice Courts included Precinct 3, just like when I did my own research. A dismissal for lack of subject matter jurisdiction or standing is typically without prejudice. Because a dismissal for lack of jurisdiction means the court lacks the legal authority to hear a case, it cannot issue a final ruling on the merits of the claim. Under Texas law, if a court has no power to render a judgment, it cannot dismiss with prejudice. And what does that say? The case is dismissed with prejudice. Hold on. What does it say here? She says, if you pinch the screen, the case was dismissed with prejudice, even though in Texas judicial courts, since they didn't have standing or lack subject matter jurisdiction, they cannot dismiss it with prejudice. It's always without prejudice. And this is why she made that post, because she knew I knew that order was a fraud.
You're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the best.
Undefeated. Said it right there. Look. 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 And this is from 2013. Look, state court, the fifth state held that challenge to jurisdiction cannot be waived, so it's irrelevant conduct with prejudice is a problem view. Second, amounts to when they issue a judgment on the merits of the case, meaning this case was dismissed with prejudice. Joint stipulation based on the merits of my case. Credit acceptors agreed to settle, give me what I want in exchange for me dropping the case. This is why it's dismissed with prejudice. So when they lack jurisdiction or standing, the cases are always dismissed without prejudice. So, Tempest, how did you defy court precedent and get a dismissal with prejudice, which is an indicator that the case was decided on its merits, when you even typed up the order granted defendants motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction and standing, which is routinely a dismissal without prejudice? How did you get a dismissal with prejudice when the Texas judicial precinct that you typed it up for always dismiss cases lacking subject matter jurisdiction and standing without prejudice? Clip that.
You're rocking with the best. You're rocking with the best.
And this is what the Supreme Elite Team University, and y'all, we are about to start in 10 minutes. Relax, y'all. This will be night one introduction. Get tighten up your bolts, relax. Night one. Trust me, I already got the homework for the whole week completed for y'all. But why is it that this is why I sent her the private emails? And hold on, let's go back to the private messages. Let's go back to the private messages. Remember, this was my only concern. Remember? Remember? What did I say? What do I say? Let's go back up. If a court lacks subject matter jurisdiction, the dismissal is typically without prejudice by law. Now is the picture coming clear why she would make this post? Uh-oh. Why she would make this post? See, you're always a clown when you call them out. They hate, and then it's because I'm a woman. Tempest, you fabricated that order. It's okay. I tried to tell you behind the scenes that you fabricated the order. Clip that. But you fabricated the order. If it's a dismissal for lack of subject matter jurisdiction and standing, it's always without prejudice. You messed yourself up by typing in with prejudice. It's by law, Texas law. So they would have changed it to without. They would have blapped it out and put without on the order. The judge wasn't going to let that sit. You'll be the only case out of Texas that had that. You would have, and they would have appealed that ruling. If we're gonna be dismissal is gonna be without prejudice, not with. They would have appealed the ruling because that's not the law. That's legislature. That's the law. So how did you get around the law, Tempest? See, I wasn't going to comment on a lot of stuff, the things that you're doing. Like you said, you've only been doing this for 3 years, like you told me in your live, remember? So I could see a lot of your rookie mistakes, but it's okay because you got to learn. So how is it that you were able to get a dismissal with prejudice when every case is always without prejudice in the subject matter jurisdiction case? Who made you so different? Who made you so different? You got a lot of material. I give you that. You got a lot of material. Where is it at? God damn it, girl. Where is it at? Let's go back up. Let's look at it one more time. Maybe I'm seeing something wrong because I don't want to put a bone on you. I don't want to put a bone on you that ain't that doesn't fit. So where's this $12,000? Oh yeah, Chris.
How did Chris?
Nah, we don't want to hear that. It's shaky. That's shaky. We just want to get to the order. Bam. So you look at this, if you look down at the bottom, it says, therefore, order that plaintiff's claims against defendant are hereby dismissed for lack of subject matter jurisdiction and lack of standing. And this case is dismissed with prejudice. Dismissed with prejudice. Dismissed with prejudice. Let's get dismissed with prejudice. So Dismissed without prejudice mean the case has been dismissed but has not been finally decided and may be refiled. And that is typical in a lack of standing cases when you a service defect or something. Dismissed with prejudice mean the case has been dismissed and finally decided and may not be refiled. So let's get to that dismiss. I wish they would have the let's see. It might be too much. Representations, yeah, it might be too much, but I find it very yeah. So right here, standard forms, official templates used by Texas judges specifically include language. It is ordered that this case is dismissed without prejudice when subject matter jurisdiction is missing. Wasn't subject matter jurisdiction missing here? Why you put with? Got some explaining to do. I told you that you should have left me alone. So watch this. So what if a order prepared by a pro se litigant appears to be signed by a judge dismissing a case with prejudice, dismissing a case with prejudice for lack of subject matter jurisdiction and standing. So what if an order appears to be signed there's standing with prejudice rather than without prejudice? Because I find that odd. If a judge signs an order dismissing a case with prejudice for lack of subject matter jurisdiction, it creates a significant legal contradiction. In Texas law, this is generally considered a voidable or clerical error because a court that lacks jurisdiction over a case does not have the power to permanently bar the claim from being brought elsewhere. Here's what is likely happened, how it's viewed. A dismissal for lack of jurisdiction is not a ruling on the merits because the court is saying, I don't have the power to hear the case. It logically cannot say this case is over forever with prejudice. The error, if a pro se litigant prepared the order and the judge signed it with prejudice, the language is likely a mistake. Judges often sign orders presented by parties if the overall result dismissal is correct, sometimes overlooking the specific with or without wording. Is the order valid? The order is still legally binding until it's corrected or appealed. However, because it's dismissed for jurisdiction. So that's what I'm saying. They would have appealed that order and they would have refiled again. So judges typically are not going to make that mistake and cause judicial contradictions. So they would at least change the wording to without prejudice. So let's see what you did in your case. Let's with that information now. Let's hear from you.
How did Chris beat a $12,000 American Express
How did he do it?
credit card lawsuit for under $500? Let me break it down.
Go ahead.
Chris was being sued for $12,000 American Express credit card.
Because they didn't want to pay his bill. Go ahead.
But now the case is dismissed. The judge threw it out, and it was dismissed with prejudice.
Yeah, dismissed with prejudice for lack of subject matter jurisdiction when the procedure history of that case is to always dismiss it without prejudice. But go ahead, explain again. Come on, keep it smart. I want to hear this.
No payment plan, no settlement, no judgment, just dismissed
Of course.
with prejudice.
Uh-huh.
I drafted this motion that shut it all down.
Uh-huh.
I reviewed the lawsuit. I crafted the argument for him with the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And I built the motion from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I challenged the jurisdictional flaws.
Mm-hmm.
I challenged the lack of standing
Mm-hmm.
and the contract inconsistencies. It was airtight, you guys. And he had also a fair judge. Our consult session, he was able to file the motion.
Uh-huh.
He argued the case.
So you already admitted that you challenged subject matter jurisdiction, standing, and contract inconsistencies. Supreme Elite Team, what do I always say? We don't ever get into arguments about the contract. We get into the meat and potatoes of the situation.
You're rocking with the best.
We don't talk about the contract. We get into the meat and potatoes, which invalidates the contract in its entirety. But let's hear what she got to say. Y'all need to sign up with her. Mm-hmm.
And the case was dismissed with prejudice. He fought back. Chris spent $500 total to help him secure a win against a $12,000 credit card debt lawsuit that was filed against him. How did Chris against a $12,000 credit card?
So
$12,000.
support at the case is dismissed. Yeah. That court talking points. What do y'all think about this email? What do you think about this email? Proton mail on it. Pro se litigants often use templates or copy paste legal language. They may use weird prejudice, thinking it sounds more final or stronger without realizing it's legally incompatible with the jurisdictional dismissal. If the judge didn't catch the wording before signing, the error becomes part of the official record. What are the odds? What are the odds of the judge making this mistake? See the odds. While statistical odds are not quantified in legal database, judges, scholars acknowledge that jurisdictional confusion, errors in drafting with or without prejudice designation occurs with some frequency. Court dismissed subject matter generally must do so without prejudice, as a court without jurisdiction lacks the authority to adjudicate merits and permanently bar the claim. So in Texas, the distinction between the two, without prejudice, generally dismissal due to lack of jurisdiction, improper venue, failure to join the party is considered without prejudice. These are not adjudications on the merits. This allows the plaintiff to potentially refile in the correct court. With prejudice, is the final decided and cannot be refiled. So, once again, all these gurus, even when they show their wins, it still doesn't amount to the Supreme Elite Team dismiss plaintiff joint stipulation with prejudice. Case over. Now, the problem that I see with that is these courts don't generally make these types of errors. So my final thesis on this, is that the case was the order. I say that was fabricated. That's my final thesis.
Rocking with the best.
I believe the case was fabricated. Judges don't do that. And that's what I pointed out to her behind the scenes. But she didn't like that. So she goes online and tries to come at me like I was trolling her. Gurus, I'm still waiting. Still waiting. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting. New title issue February 3rd, 2026. Actually came in the mail to me. And they move fast. I thought it was going to take 30 days. They move fast. It was like 10 days. Not Alan Najee was silent. Saying, where's the title? Where's the title? I posted the title on Facebook and tagged him. Silent. Or the other gurus, silence. Silence is how I like it. Silence. We got iffy dismissals, saying with prejudice when the jurisdiction always says without prejudice. See, it's always some cloud and shroud and misery with these gurus' receipts. With the Supreme Elite Team receipts, you get straight up 100%, no fluff, no fakes, no, man, that's cap. 100% straight up, straight to the core, straight to the point receipts. This is what you get. You get that. You don't get all this. I don't even know what this is. You don't get all that. You don't get all that. You don't get all that. We don't get that. Not over here. You get straight up. Now, we're about to have the introduction into the Supreme Elite Team University, and we're going to do it on Discord. Y'all, we're about to head over to that side in the field. Tonight will just be the introduction. Only Friday will be 100% day one. I really wanted to start on the original date, but we can start it. We can start it Friday. Classes will be held on Discord. I got the server set up. The code of conduct, the mission statement, and the student handbooks are already posted in the chat in the group. I may go back to Zoom, but I hate Zoom, y'all. I hate it. I hate it. I may go back there, but for now we're gonna see how we're gonna see how this goes. And good thing this is not the first official. This is introduction, so I can see how it maneuvers. If it's worse than Zoom, then by Friday we'll be back in Zoom. The homework is already done and prepared. You won't have homework for the first until the end of the first full week. It's already done. It's already prepared. All the study materials, all your documents, everything that you need is all already going to be dropped in the chat before the next class. The introductory is tonight only. If you did not sign up, enroll in the Supreme Elite Team, you still have until Friday to do so. All inquiries to the Supreme Elite Team University must be sent to Thomas Legacy 603. Let me take this off the screen. Thomas Legacy down at the bottom. 603 thomaslegacy603@gmail.com. Thomas Legacy 603@gmail.com. What you will be learning, number one, you will be learning everything dealing with consumer finance. You'll be learning everything dealing with consumer finance, right? And not only that, you will be learning everything related to not this vague securitization and all this. You're going to learn the intricate details on how it operates from multiple layers. Securitization is a multi-level, multi-layer thing. You're going to learn how to evidence it on a balance sheet. You're going to learn the official accounting terms that they use for these items. You're going to learn why the contract was already less of what you owe from the books in the contract. The contract says you owe $50,000 back, $400 a month for the next 7 years. When we tear apart the books, you'll realize that it has that those numbers are significantly less. You will learn what happens in a charge off. What is evidence from an accounting standpoint on a charge off? When you get your account charged off, what does it mean from an accounting standpoint, that internal accounting standpoint? So when I'm talking about accounting, I'm not talking about accounting like the normal regular way. I'm talking about the accounting from their internal books, how their internal accountants operate. You're going to realize that what happens in 90 days, like default on a mortgage, or you didn't make your payments for 90 days, you'll understand what's taking place within that 90 period, those 90 days, because they don't come after you till after the 90 days. You will learn what's taking place within those 90 days. And Tempest is right. Yes, I know someone who processes the payments for Fannie Mae, the ones that it goes from your lender, your servicer, to that company right there, and they send the money to the other side. You'll learn what happens even when a foreclosure takes place. You'll learn what happened behind the scenes. So you'll look at foreclosures from a totally different lens, and you won't look at it, get scared. Oh, I need help, I need help. You'll realize, oh yeah, this is going to prove my point. You'll know what to look for in discovery. You'll learn the professional behind the scenes discovery request, because no other guru out here has this, because part of my discovery request, I got it from the ex-SEC attorney. You think he would know what to look for? I mean, he wasn't nothing but number 2 or 3 in the totem pole at the SEC. So you'll learn those things. So we're taking accounting, securitization, consumer finance, and we are taking everything that happens behind the scenes and converting it into a legal, viable claim. We have professional documents that we're going to be using. You'll have as study materials from college professors, people from the American Accounting Associations, lawyers. Hell yeah, lawyers. Top elite professionals in these fields, law firms. I got a lot of official documents from the top elite. That's just off the benefit who I'm connected with. So that's going to be a given. If you're interested in the Supreme Elite Team University and more, it's going to be a 90-day course. 90 days. Send an email to thomaslegacy603@gmail.com before Friday. I would have opened up tonight for everybody in the day one, but I thought about it too late. But if you are interested and want to litigate like a seasoned professional, the understanding that I have, I'm giving it to you. You can't say my understanding ain't worth a damn, because the receipts all speak for themselves. But if you are interested, Thomas Legacy 603@gmail.com, and at 8:20 we're going to be in Discord to go to the orientation. Peace and love to all of my people out there. The constraints of these finance systems and these interest rates are decimating our country, are decimating our everyday hard workers. And I'm here for the time being to give you a viable way out.
Big checks from credit accepting. Thomas settled the case. You see the gavel and he raised, yeah. Thomas settled the case. Big checks from credit acceptance. Thomas settled the case. You see the gavel and he raised, yeah. Thomas been lit, call him litigator. He been in the court with the litigation. Thomas known in the court like Jordan in the 80s. He did his research, had a planet like her name is Katie. He put his foot on their neck like a foot fetish. Thomas is not a credit rookie, call him credit veteran. They try to throw a lion on him, but he couldn't catch him. The whole team did a dance, it's the credit stepper. He caught a chapter and a judge and they had to settle. We ain't even been to court, they just had to settle. We ain't even have a fort, they just had a level. On the ground with the gavel, we just had to wrestle. Yeah, Thomas not a rookie, this a vet, call him Top G. He a vet, top gun, he ain't never lost. Thomas know how to finance, he the top dog. Yeah, he been on a...
One of the most important assets that I think people will be able to take away from the Supreme Elite Team University is a realistic expectation and understanding of what this system is and what it's about and totality. You're going to learn that everything that you obtain, all the information and understanding, it's not solely going to be for the sole purpose of getting out of a debt, because that's never the angle anyone should take. I'm doing this to get out of a debt. No one, why am I saying that? Why do I believe that no one should take this angle that I'm doing this solely to get out of debt? The reason why I say that, because when you focus on not having to pay debt anymore, you're going to miss the bigger picture. Because once you understand the bigger picture, you're going to realize that that's not even the angle. There's most likely no case law governing accounting. Most times you won't really specifically see it when researching any cases that solely go into accounting defense or exposure of the accounting, because let's be honest, they don't want people knowing the accounting, let alone challenging it. When the challenge of improper accounting has been the foundation of equity in the judicial courts of the United States, dating back to the 1930s. So one key word, accounting defense. Researching any cases that solely go to accounting defense. I just said it, because they're looking at accounting as a defense to their consumer obligations. So you will never find a case that goes into that, because you can't use accounting as a defense to your consumer obligation.
You're rocking with the best.
So number one, already looking at accounting from the wrong angle. But if you were a guru that understood these things, you will know that accounting is not used as a defense or your cause of action. It's to highlight the evidence and substantiate your legal cause of action. So when you take accounting away as a legal defense and only using it in support of your legal defense, this is when they're back to square one. They don't know where to go from there. Attorneys are not accountants. It has nothing to do. It doesn't matter. Administrative judges are not accountants. Once again, these administrative judges, it keeps hindering to the sovereign citizen lingo. It's like, no matter how much you want to jump to accounting and securitization, once you've been bit by that sovereign citizen bug, as reflected in this person's case filing with the $1.7 million home, it's always going to creep up out of you. Like you cannot let, like it's going to creep, it's going to seep up out of you. Administrative judges, that is that sovereign citizen way of administrative judges are not accountants. So how would they truly know who is obligated and how the accountant reveals the truth? Well, how would you know?
Don't miss out on this opportunity to litigate like a seasoned professional. Join the Supreme Elite Team University.
Thomas in the lobby, folded thicker than a skyline. Credit acceptance on a resume with stories in the fine lines.
Well, how would you know? Think about it. If there's no case law on accounting, and lawyers are not accountants, and administrative judges are not accountants, then where do you go to get your relief? Because accounting relates to financial disclosures. How do you connect accounting to a courtroom setting? I mean, you got a auto transaction, you got a credit card case, credit card, you got to know these things before you go into court. How do you bring accounting into a consumer obligation? If there's no case law on it, the judges are not accountants, the lawyers not, so how would they really know the truth? The same question could be posed to the guru. How would you really know the truth then? And this is what it means. The truth is always what I believe the truth is, or how I feel the truth is. And if the courts or the judges don't see it this way, then them themselves are wrong. But these are the same people that you are going to get relief or requesting or seeking relief. These are the same people. It's like somebody trying to tell you you're wrong about something, but they actually need you for help. Like somebody trying to tell you, oh, you wrong about this, but they actually need your expertise. You see what I'm saying? Like, how does that look? So you have no judges. Judges can't tell you what the truth is. The lawyers can't tell you what the truth is. There's no case law on the truth. So going by this own logic, then why are you even trying to bring up accounting in the first place? Oh, let me guess. Let me try to deter people from the questions asked, because I remember after I went live, people did start asking questions. Hey, and this post came about, multiple people started saying, hey, can you evidence this in a court case? Hey, can you show me any? Because I told the people, yo, just ask her, prove this in court. Where are the cases to support what they're saying? I found over 70 cases to support what I'm saying.
On my Thomas legacy. I got knowledge, I got money. You know I am a trendsetter.
People started saying, hey, can you evidence this in a court case? Hey, can you show me any court cases? In which some people started to take that advice, because I told the people, yo, just ask her, prove this in court. Where are the cases to support what they're saying? I found over 70 cases to support what I'm saying. So where's the cases that supports what this person is saying? And it's either one conclusion, they don't know, because they don't have the true understanding of what it's really about to give you a definite answer. Versus in my Supreme Elite Team group, we go over cases just like the weatherman goes over the news every morning. The stuff that many people out here are struggling to even grasp 1% of, we go over in our group effortlessly. Oh, no. It's not me. My members are saying this. And do I have to drop screenshots and emails they sent to me and comments they made in the group? I got to do that. It's not going to mean anything, because people are going to believe what they want to believe. Actually, more people are going to stay away further. And it's sad. It's because they're just envious. They're actually, the years of them spent with these people and getting spunt around, people like Mensa, Yusavelle, Jonah Bay, Tamika, they are so punch drunk today, like they are shell shocked. And that's what these people, these gurus do. They take your money and destroy your will. So now everybody to you is in that same boat where you got the Supreme Elite Team. We're just going to continue to keep trucking and moving along.
You're rocking with the best.
Do you think I will want 100 to 250,000 people knowing exactly what I know. As soon as people in mass, let's say I do a Thanos and I gave everybody my understanding. If the court started to see this stuff, these claims come in drones, do you not know they're going to find a way to shut it down? They're going to find another way to shut it down. I just dropped my last video on it. They're going to find a way to shut it down. This is open. This door is open, but it's not open for everyone. The harsh reality is, no matter how many people spent trying to fight all those mortgage, consumer, all that with these gurus online, the harsh reality is less than 10% are ever going to win. The UCC is statutory law. Why is it statutory law? Because every state has adopted its own version of the UCC and has codified it in their statutes. So when you go to court saying UCC is common law, you are showing the court your ignorance, and the other side knows, because the UCC every state has their own version, and they have been incorporated into the state statutes. So everybody's sitting here citing, let me tell you what they'll cite some generic version of the UCC. They'll cite that. But what they don't do is cite their own state laws equivalents, because, to be honest with you, sometimes the state law's equivalent is different from the generic DC code. Y'all citing the UCC DC code. You got to cite your state law. So if you got to cite your state law UCC, then that means the UCC is statutory law.
Welcome to another live stream from the New Culture Empire. Tomorrow, the Supreme Elite Team University begins. Don't miss the chance to litigate like a seasoned professional. Learn how contracts are really structured and presented on a balance sheet, and how to submit legal claims that courts recognize. Don't forget to follow us on social media platforms.
Run it in bang. Whipping up, he got sauce in my hand. She rolling the dice, got luck in that van. Smoking that leaf, going global stand. On my wrist like a stage, they can't claim. You look like you wanna let go straight. I thought so, okay.
On another note, before I go, I just got some inside information. Obviously, people were watching this live. So now it looks like this is about to boil over to tomorrow, the next day. So we're going to tune in tomorrow, y'all. Meet me back here at 6 o'clock. And Miss Tempest, since you wanted my attention, you now have my attention. And I'm going to go over all your catalog. And I'm going to make my professional find it. Reynolds, Tonya, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Mods, wrenches have been given out. I gave a few people more wrenches, but we are about to get into Discord for the introduction in the Supreme Elite Team University. If you're not in there tonight, it's cool. The official class starts Friday. Send me an email, thomaslegacy603@gmail.com. If you're interested, listen, I don't need a whole long diatribe about your situation. If you don't have the money right now, just send me an email and get straight to the point. Please, that's all I ask y'all. Please get straight to the point. All right, y'all. Y'all, those who are already enrolled, in about 5-10 minutes, I will be opening up the chat over there in Discord. If you have not gotten in there, if I've spoken to you, texted you or whatever, if you have not spoken to me, this is your final. You got about 5-10 minutes to send me a message. Let me know what's going on, because I'm about to head over there now. All right, y'all. One gone.
You're rocking with the best.
I will see y'all tomorrow. Once again, I will see y'all tomorrow. Let's congregate at 6 p.m. Listen, y'all, they have a shadow ban on me. They have a shadow ban on me. The shadow ban is supposed to be lifted. The shadow ban was supposed to be lifted, y'all. They haven't lifted it yet. So hopefully that we can get this shadow ban lifted. And because y'all not getting the notifications. I know they're not giving the notifications. They're not giving the notifications on purpose. So just you gotta come into my channel, see live. I'm gonna start posting, I'm gonna start scheduling my lives for a few days in advance, y'all. So just hit the notify. I'm gonna start scheduling them a few days in advance, because the shadow ban is crazy. Everybody's gonna hit me up like, yo, I didn't know you was live. I didn't know you was live. So yeah, we are still pushing it. Please send me an email. I actually have some things that I need to talk to you about as well. And ladies and gentlemen, let's continue to move the envelope forward. We may indulge in the BS time to time, but we never lose sight of the end goal. We never lose sight of the end goal. We're not going to get 55,000 acres in the mill out of this, but we can get one asset and property back at a time. Own clear free at a time, at a time, at a time. The assets, let me just tell you what Bernie Madoff told me in the feds. He said, see, in your world, no disrespect, money is everything to you. But in my world, the right to receive payment is more valuable than the payment itself. Let us say,
Don't miss out on this opportunity to litigate like a seasoned professional. Join the Supreme Elite Team University.
Thomas in the lobby, folded thicker than a skyline. Credit acceptance on a resume with stories in the fine lines.